The Rage of Achilles, a deep dive into Homer's Iliad. Imagine a war so epic, it's been talked about for over 3,000 years. That's Homer's The Iliad, 8th century BCE, the ultimate tale of heroism, rage, and divine meddling. From Achilles' legendary wrath to Hector's heartbreaking sacrifice, this ancient Greek masterpiece has it all. But beware, this isn't just a story about battles and glory. It's a deep dive into the human condition, with gods, heroes, and enough drama to rival any modern soap opera. Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll be ready to ace a quiz on one of the most influential works in world literature. If you think of the Iliad as a film, imagine it as a thrilling mashup of Gladiator meets Game of Thrones. Picture warriors with superhuman skills battling amidst grand backdrops, intricate plots, and supernatural interventions, all while grappling with personal vendettas. Achilles is like the ultimate anti-hero. We can't help but root for him, even when he's sulking in his tent. This epic story encompasses everything that modern audiences relish: survival, betrayal, and a craving for vengeance. The Iliad, a song of rage and glory. Picture this: a decade-long war raging, a stolen queen causing a legendary hero to throw a monumental hissy fit, and gods behaving like the ultimate reality TV stars, constantly meddling in human affairs. That's the Iliad by Homer, circa 8th century BCE in a nutshell, or perhaps a very ornate Bronze Age nutshell. This isn't just your average war story. It's a sprawling epic filled with rage, glory, heartbreak, and enough divine intervention to make you wonder if the ancient Greeks had a direct line to the heavens. The story explodes onto the scene with a classic Greek drama, the kind that would make modern soap operas blush. Agamemnon, the self-important leader of the Greek forces, does something incredibly foolish. He steals Achilles' prized war trophy, a beautiful woman named Briseis. Now, Achilles, as we've established, is not known for his chill demeanor. He's the ultimate drama king, a warrior of unparalleled skill and equally unparalleled temper. So, naturally, he throws a tantrum of epic proportions and, in a move that would make any general cringe, refuses to fight. He essentially takes his ball and goes home, leaving the Greeks in a seriously precarious position. While Achilles is busy sulking in his tent, presumably polishing his armor and writing angry poetry, the Trojans, led by the noble and courageous Hector, seize the opportunity. They're not exactly pushovers, and with Achilles out of the picture, they start to gain the upper hand. Hector, a devoted husband and father as well as a fearsome warrior, becomes the symbol of Trojan resistance, a figure of both strength and pathos. He knows the war is likely to end badly for Troy, but he fights on for his city, his family, and his honor. Now let's talk about the gods. These guys are the original influencers, the ultimate power brokers. Zeus, the king of the gods, is basically the cosmic CEO, making pronouncements and occasionally throwing lightning bolts at people who displease him. Hera, his wife, is constantly trying to undermine his plans, because what's a good mythology without some marital strife? Athena, the goddess of wisdom and warfare, is a big fan of the Greeks and is always meddling in their favor. And then there's the rest of the Olympian crew, all with their own agendas and favorite mortals. They're like the cast of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but instead of social media drama, they're causing earthquakes, manipulating battles, and generally making life interesting and often terrifying for the humans down below. As the war drags on, Achilles' best friend, Patroclus, starts to get antsy. He sees the Greeks getting their butts kicked and decides he needs to do something. In a moment of either bravery or sheer stupidity, you decide, he borrows Achilles' armor and leads the Greeks into battle, pretending to be the great hero himself. It's a bold move, but it backfires spectacularly. Hector, thinking he's facing Achilles, kills Patroclus. This is the moment when Achilles' rage finally boils over. It's not just a tantrum anymore. It's a full-blown inferno of grief and vengeance. He returns to the battlefield with a vengeance that would make even the gods tremble. He's like a force of nature, a whirlwind of death and destruction. And his target? Hector. In a climactic showdown, Achilles kills Hector and, in a final act of utter disrespect, drags his body behind his chariot back to the Greek camp. It's a brutal and heartbreaking scene, highlighting the savagery of war and the depths of human grief. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well for Hector, or, for that matter, for pretty much anyone involved. But the Iliad isn't just a blood-soaked action movie in poetic form. Beneath the surface of battles and bloodshed lies a profound exploration of human emotions. It's a story about love, the deep bond between Achilles and Patroclus, the familial love between Hector and his wife Andromache. It's about loss, the devastating grief of parents who lose their sons, wives who lose their husbands, friends who lose their comrades. And it's about the corrosive power of pride, the way it can blind us to reason and lead to tragedy. From Achilles' agonizing grief over Patroclus to Hector's heartbreaking farewell to his wife and son, this epic poem is as emotionally resonant as it is action-packed, reminding us that even heroes are ultimately human. Immortal words, iconic quotes and their significance. Rage, goddess, sing the rage of Peleus' son Achilles. This opening line sets the stage, promising a tale driven by wrath and its devastating consequences. Achilles' rage is the engine of the entire epic, shaping the fates of countless individuals. It demonstrates the destructive power of uncontrolled emotions and the devastating ripple effects of personal conflict on a larger scale. Sing, Muse, the anger of Peleus' son Achilles, the devastating rage that brought countless woes to the Achaeans. This is essentially the same idea as the first quote. The emphasis is on the lasting effect of Achilles' anger on his side of the war. He is considered the best warrior on the Greek side, and his retreat from battle deeply impacted their ability to fight. The fate of Troy was sealed when Paris, son of King Priam, abducted Helen. The abduction of Helen, the beautiful wife of Menelaus, is the catalyst for the war, highlighting the devastating impact of lust, obsession, and pride. Hector, you are going to die a terrible death today. This foreshadows the tragic demise of Hector, highlighting the cyclical nature of life and death in the epic. These quotes and many others within the Iliad aren't just words. They are snapshots of human nature, capturing the eternal struggles of pride, honor, love, and loss, which resonates powerfully even today. Unraveling the mysteries of Homer and the Iliad. Stepping into the world of Homer's Iliad is like stepping back in time, way back. We're talking ancient Greece, a period so shrouded in myth and legend that separating fact from fiction can feel like solving a particularly tricky riddle. But even the fuzziness of Homer's life and times adds to the intrigue surrounding his masterpiece. First, let's tackle the enigma that is Homer himself. Who was this individual, or were they a collection of poets, and what shaped his epic vision? Unfortunately, definitive answers remain elusive. We don't have a photograph of Homer nor a detailed biography penned by the man himself. His very existence is debated among scholars, with theories ranging from a single, brilliant poet to a collective of bards who gradually shaped and refined the Iliad over generations. Imagine it like a centuries-long collaborative writing project, passed down orally, evolving with each telling. Think of it as a literary game of telephone, but instead of silly distortions, the result is a literary masterpiece that has reverberated through millennia. Most scholars place Homer's creative period somewhere around the 8th century BCE, a time of significant change and upheaval in the Greek world. Greece wasn't yet a unified nation. Rather, it was a patchwork of independent city-states, polis, constantly vying for power and influence. Think of it as a miniature version of the Warring States period in ancient China, but with more mythology thrown in. The society was largely agrarian and tribal. Writing existed, but it wasn't as ubiquitous as it is now. Oral traditions were paramount. Storytelling was a highly valued skill, and poets like Homer held an elevated status within their communities. They were entertainers, historians, and moral instructors rolled into one. Where did Homer live? Again, the mystery deepens. Tradition links him to Ionia, a region on the western coast of Asia Minor, modern-day Turkey. Others associate him with Chios or even Athens. Wherever he hailed from, he clearly possessed a profound understanding of both the geography and culture of the time. His descriptions of battles, landscapes, and even the social dynamics are remarkably detailed and vivid, hinting at a considerable first-hand knowledge or intimate exposure to those aspects of life. The Iliad itself belongs to the heroic age of Greek literature, the era's cinematic blockbuster equivalent. These weren't just stories. They were integral to the cultural fabric of ancient Greece. They served as the main source of historical information, shaped moral values, and instilled a sense of shared identity. Think of it as a combination of history, mythology, and entertainment, all rolled into one grand narrative. The stories weren't just recounted at gatherings or festivals, they were part of everyday life, shaping the societal norms and collective consciousness of the time. The Iliad's writing style is characterized by epic poetry's hallmarks: dactylic hexameter, a specific rhythmic pattern in the lines, elaborate similes, and frequent invocations of the muse, the goddess of inspiration. It's a style that's both incredibly formal and intensely evocative, employing rich imagery and vivid descriptions to create a mesmerizing narrative that transports the reader to the heart of the Trojan War. The similes, often extended to great length, are not just decorative. They function as essential parts of the narrative, expanding our understanding of the characters, the emotions, and the overall dramatic arc. For example, the comparison of the Greek warrior's retreat from the battlefield to a herd of cattle stampeded by a lion is not mere embellishment. It depicts chaos and fear. The Iliad's influence is immeasurable. It's the cornerstone of Western literature, a foundational text that has inspired countless writers, artists, and thinkers across the centuries. It's a text that shaped the very concept of heroism, exploring the complex interplay of human ambition and moral failings. The character of Achilles, with his unparalleled strength and devastating temper, stands as a prototype for countless heroic figures, inspiring both admiration and caution. The Iliad also lays out many of the themes that would resonate in Western literature even after millennia: the futility of war, the devastating consequences of pride and unchecked rage, the complexities of human relationships, and the relentless march of time. Just as Shakespeare is considered the cornerstone of English literature, Homer stands as a monumental figure in the literary landscape of the West. His impact echoes across the ages, a testament to the power of storytelling and the enduring relevance of human experiences. The Iliad wasn't just a book. It was a cultural phenomenon that continues to captivate and inspire. It's a window into a world long gone, a world that continues to resonate with us today. Homeric highlights and historical tidbits. The Iliad begins in the 10th year of the Trojan War, but the majority of the action takes place over the course of just a few weeks. Did you know that Homer's name itself may be a pseudonym? It means hostage in Greek, and his true identity is still a topic of debate. Some scholars debate whether the Iliad and the Odyssey were written by the same author, and they even argue over which one was produced first. Homer's epics weren't just entertainment. They were also a way of preserving history and cultural values. They provided a shared narrative for the ancient Greeks, reinforcing their sense of identity. The Iliad was so influential that it was reportedly recited at the Olympic Games, serving as a binding cultural experience for the whole of Greece. The Trojan Horse, one of the most famous stories in Western literature, is actually not featured in the Iliad. It appears in Homer's other epic, the Odyssey. Achilles' heel wasn't mentioned in the Iliad. The idea of his one weakness comes from later myths. Test your knowledge with a quiz. Let's see how much you've absorbed. Who is the main hero in the Iliad? A. Neoptolemus. B. Achilles. C. Odysseus. D. Agamemnon. What sparks Achilles' anger at the start of the poem? A. The death of his friend. B. The loss of his war prize, Briseis. C. A bet with Hector. D. A promotion in the army. Which city is the focus of the war in the Iliad? A. Athens. B. Sparta. C. Troy. D. Mycenae. Who kills Hector in battle? A. Odysseus. B. Achilles. C. Agamemnon. D. Patroclus. What supernatural beings frequently intervene in the events of the Iliad? A. Titans. B. Vampires. C. Gods and goddesses. D. Spirits. Don't forget, the correct answers can be found in the video description. Join the conversation. What do you think of Achilles? Is he a hero or a villain? Let us know in the comments. We encourage you to read the Iliad, share your thoughts, and join the discussion. Like this video and subscribe to our channel for more explorations of world literature. As we say goodbye to Achilles and the walls of Troy, don't get too comfortable. Our next thrilling chapter dives into the Odyssey, where we're introduced to the crafty Odysseus, who faced a whirlwind of trials on his journey home. Think battling Cyclops, alluring sirens, and getting lost at sea, not your average commute. Somewhere out there, there's a hero trying to find his way back to his family while trying not to lose his mind or his ship along the way. Ready for more adventures, mishaps, and perhaps a little bit of philosophy too? Stick around because Odysseus's journey promises to be just as entertaining and filled with unexpected twists